Hello, third grade. I'm gonna have to do this using the tripod and without being in the picture with my face. So today I thought it might be fun for you to see a little bit about the folding process for making one of these lovely, not exactly, but close to one of these lovely flowers that Penelope's mama and her colleagues worked on and sent with their Mother's Day shoes. If some of you got a shoe gift certificate, you would have received, potentially, depending on if it came in person or not, I think, a lovely flower made out of paper. And one of her colleagues made these beautiful paper flowers. There's my little stem. And I got some support from her. She sent me directions to how to do this. So I'm gonna show you in case you wanna try. So this is what's gonna happen out of this first cut. We're gonna make these little petals. And then I'll show you what you can do after you've done those petals if you want. Or you can just have these petals exactly as they are. Rowan made a beautiful bouquet for his mama using just this petal and then filling in something in the middle. It was really cute. So here's the first fold. I showed you this fold if you did the form drawing with me in images. So it's this regular size piece of paper, and then you're taking one corner and reaching that corner up until it's flat against the top piece of the paper. So there's now, it went from here. And then Saoirse found a really clever way to do it. She pinched her finger where it's starting to come up and made sure that this piece was exactly matched before she tried to come all the way to the top part here. And then you crease it. Now, the most important part is this. This is what we want to cut off. We want to cut this piece off eventually. So this piece will become remaining at the top. And once you've had your first fold like this, then you can fold it again. And now you're making kind of a little pocket. So this fold is, you can see this is kind of like a sail. Imagine the pointy part of the sail now, even though it's pointy over here, it's not folded. So the pointed fold now is going to reach back to here. And now we're going to flatten it and fold it. You might need to hold it to get it to be a nice, perfect crease. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna take this piece and we're going to fold it back. So I went from the big open pocket to folding it back. So I'm folding it back. And now I'm gonna make a bigger petal than the one I think that's over there. Okay. And now here I have a triangle folded in half. And now I'm going to hold it by its very tip with the rectangle at the top. And I'm going to cut off that rectangle with my scissors and make a rounded ice cream cone. Like that. And when you open it, it's kind of like a little heart. It actually looks like a ginkgo leaf too. And then you open it again, and you open it again, and now you have a great big, you can see how much bigger this flower petal is than this little guy. Now you have a great big one. Now you can see where the folds are. You can fold it back and back and back, and then you can cut this tiny little tip off. If you just cut the tiniest part of it off and round it a little bit, now you have a place where you can thread in. You can see now, look, you can make more parts to your flower. Now, if you want to make this flower smaller, then you can take your initial piece of paper, and I'm going to choose a new color. I bought this paper at the office supply store, and it's called Astro Brights because they didn't have anything other than this color. I wanted colored paper, and I wanted it to be paper, not cardstock. So this is that thinner paper. It's actually paper. And I'm going to use this purple next. So now I can fold it in half and fold it again. So I'm going from the standard size of paper that almost all of you will be able to buy. Now I'm going to cut it. So now I have a rectangle. And I'm going to cut it in half so that it's easier to fold. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to reach up this fold. So remember, find a corner, bring the corner up. Now look, this is starting to fold funny. So I'm going to put my finger right here to train this other piece of paper to only come to about the middle of the whole paper. And I want this little corner to be an exact pinch here. And now I can fold it and line it up. And now I'm going to do this again, where I take now this tiny point. It's kind of like a mousy face away from the rectangle. Here's the rectangle. Here's the front of the triangle. The front of the triangle reaches to the tail. And I crease it. And then again. And you can see this is going to be a nice little petal. And then I folded it. So I went like this to here, folded the sides back, and it's not quite lining up. And now I'm going to be careful not to go into this rectangle, into this top big rectangle piece, and just make a little teeny tiny ice cream cone. And then snip off a little bit of the end. And here I have a whole new flower petal. And there's another shape. And it's a little bit different. So now, look, I have 3. And I could make these be flat now. I don't have to have these be this 3-dimensional experience. They can just be flat. And then you could use them even in a collage, and you could paste them to paper and make a beautiful flower. Or you can try something a little bit different. You're gonna need some tape. So here's my tape. You can leave this one as your base, and it can stay a full set of petals. But this one, you could take one of the creases. See, I cut along a crease, and now I'm going to cut along this crease right here, and I'm going to cut this out. So now I have this one petal is missing from my flower, and then I can take these two side petals and line them up and tape them. So now we've got a little, like a funnel, and it can sit inside this bottom piece. And then the same thing with this one. I can take out one of the petals. So I'm cutting along a crease, and I'm cutting along a crease, and I'm taking out one petal, and then I'm folding it over, See, it went from open, and then I just slide it, and you can see it naturally wants to curl up now. It's a little bit smaller. And tape it. And now I have 3. Now this one's pretty big, so if I wanted to make another one that was this size, the size of this purple one, then I could add, but because this one's so big, I think I can take one petal out of it and close it up again. I'm taping on the back, but it doesn't really matter where you tape because this is practice. And there. Now I have like a boat. And in addition, I can take maybe this dark green and I can roll it. You might not want to roll the whole thing to make a stem. And roll the paper up. And it should, and if it won't fit in the hole you made, you can make your holes a little bigger so you can get it to go in there. And then it can have a stem that it grows on. So that is some examples of paper flowers in 3 different sizes. Now I didn't give you the 3rd size, so I'll show you how to do that smaller size in another video. So here's this. Here's the stem. And I'm going to cut off the rest, because otherwise it's going to get too big. And tape it closed. And I'm going to cut it so that it's narrow at the tippy top, and I can then slide it in to my petals. And there it is. And if I wanted, I could even use part of this and glue on a leaf, or I could cut my own leaves. Now the tricky part about this is that, see, this piece is now falling, so you're gonna want a little bit of glue to glue it to your stem at the bottom. But you could also use a few of your scraps and tape a leaf to keep your stem from falling down, and then you'll need something in the middle to keep your petals from falling off of your, because if I flip this over, they'll fall out. So we want something here, a little glue here will keep it from flying out. Or you can add another color in the middle and make pieces to stay the flower petal. So there it is. There. Not too shabby for a first try. And you can keep practicing and see if you can come up with different designs. All right, I'll show you the littlest fold in another video. Bye.